Welcome back. Now, it's a general notion among Nigerian politicians that democracy is a game of numbers. So the more members and supporters you have, the greater your chances of success in any election. That is, of course, the general impression. Little wonder then why cross-carpeting has engulfed our political space for quite a long time. Now, let's focus on one cross-carpeting now that is generating a lot of talking points in the country. And I'm talking about that of the former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani-Kayode, who, of course, is in the news once again. And this time, he's finally, well, should I say finally, he has actually pitched his tent with the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Now, since the beginning of the year, FFK, as is popularly called, has repeatedly denied that he was ditching the opposition People's Democratic Party, PDP, even though his actions suggested otherwise, considering how cordial he's been with some APC governors and chieftains. It's actually not the first time FFK will be defecting from one party to another. In 2013, and I remember that very well, he dumped the PDP for the APC until June 2014, when he returned again to the PDP ahead of the 2015 general elections. And guess what? He played a prominent role in the run-up to that election. Fani-Kayode actually has spent the last 7 years criticizing APC and the President Muhammadu Buhari-led government. But in another twist of events now, the prodigal son, as some people would say, has again returned, and he was joyfully received with open arms by President Buhari, whom he has in the past called all sorts of unprintable names. The real issue may not even be the manner in which he was received by the president and the APC, but what political value really is FFK bringing to the APC? Of course, there must be some kind of value if you ask me. Joining me now to speak more on this issue, I have two political analysts. Jide Ojo joins us from Abuja, and of course, I also have Charles Ideho, who joins us via Skype as well from another part of Lagos. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program. Let me start with you, Charles. Any surprise at all that FFK is coming back to the APC?
No, I'm not surprised. I am not. I'm a journalist. I have covered elections in this country for close to 20 years. Apart from when I was a business editor for just a couple of years, I've done all my life is been on political reportage and all that. So I have also followed FFK very closely. So when he eventually defected, I wasn't surprised because there were pointers. The pointers started around 2018 when he was first accused of maybe hobnobbing, if you will, with some of the persons in this party. But he flatly denied it. He even made an allusion to the fact that persons like Obanikoro and Ijola Omishore, who found their way into APC, they did that because they wanted to score cheap political points. That he wasn't like them. That he all made us to believe that very upright, that he believed in the ideas of PDP.
But of course, you never took him seriously when he was saying all of that.
No, I didn't, because it's somebody I followed over time. Because one thing you must not take away from him is that is when he talks, when it comes to the terms of oratory, he has that. You can't beat him to.
That's sure.
So he always manages. I don't know. I'm in the media. I don't know how FFK manages to remain relevant. In the media, on the media space. And when he talks so convincingly, so that even when he insults your father, insults your village people, you will still find a way to roll out the red carpet for you to welcome him to wherever. So he has found a way around to be relevant at all times. How he manages it, I don't know. So as I said, I wasn't surprised because it's something that was expected. He's been like a pendulum of the grandfather clock. He will turn there, he will turn there. So returning is just very typical of him, that he will. But if, for instance, by stroke of providence, that this current party loses the election in the coming days,
he'll go back.
You will also still find him also swing back to where he came from. That's FFK for you.
All right, I'm going to come back to you. Let me go to Jide. Jide, of course, just as Charles said, for me, it's no surprise. I remember back in 2012 actually, or 2013, I remember speaking with Fani Kayode, and I remember what he said. Then he was in the APC, and I remember what he said about Goodluck Jonathan back then. That was just before he came back to the PDP, and I remember the way he described the relationship between, or how he compared PDP to APC. He said, look, the APC was like light over darkness of PDP, and few months after he said that, he was back in PDP. So I want to believe this would not be surprising to you.
Of course, it doesn't come to me as a surprise. But what I find confusing is the respect that is being accorded a spent force, a political spent force, like
now, when you say he's a political spent force, I mean, you give the impression that he was a force at a time, because somehow I don't think he had been a force.
DEJI, I mean, assuming without considering that when he was in Obasanjo's cabinet, as a cabinet minister, you have some clout, you have some relevance, you have some influence to peddle. So you can be wooed to say, we are winning a serving minister into our party. But the president and two serving governors have to leave everything they are doing. I see, that is the confusing aspect for me. I see, this is the same president that former Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, what is his name? Ikechukwu from Delta State. Remind me of his name. That he said he could not see in 6 months as a minister under Buhari in 20.
That's Ffk'S, you mean?
Ffk'S said he could not see the president in 6 months to even discuss issues in oil and gas with him as his minister of state, since he's the minister, substantive minister of petroleum resources. So if the president, and you could see the bitterness in Joe Igbokwe's comment, that even him that has kept faith with APC has never been invited to a coffee with the president, and somebody who is a political prostitute is being accorded red carpet. I just wondered what makes him thick and relevant, so much so that they will accord him that kind of respect, because Femi does not deserve the kind of respect that has been accorded him. Here is a man that he was swearing that over his dead body, will he go back to APC? I mean, a number of his tweets is now trending. And I pity his children and his wives. If they are reading or they are following
but hold on now. I mean, Fani Kayode is not the first person who would be doing this. Saraki, you remember what he said when he left the PDP and joined the APC before the 2015 general election? You remember very clearly. Kwankwaso, you remember very clearly. I mean, even Atiku himself, take your mind back to what Atiku said when he left the PDP in 2011? I mean, take your mind back, and with everything they say, I mean, all these are there in the public. So we can't say Fani Kayode is doing something extraordinary, and why should he be crucified for it? I mean, it's something that every other politician in this country does.
Yes, he should be crucified, because, you know, when you can talk of Saraki, Kwakwaso, and all of that, those are political heavyweights. Those are people with political capital. Those are people that have won election as governors, as senators. Which election has Femi won in all his political life? Tell me whether he has ever won even a word which is the lowest, the smallest political office, has he ever contested and won?
He has never contested election
in all his life.
Anyway, but let me pause you there. I'll come back to you. Let me go to Charles. Charles, whether we like it or not, it's easy to just dismiss Fani Kayade's political value, if you like. That what value is he bringing to the APC? And just as GJ said, does it make any sense at all to roll the red carpet and even get a presidential reception for someone who has never contested election and all of that? But there must be some value that the APC has seen in this individual, and that's the reason why they are flaunting him now like a trophy. I mean, there must be some kind of value that he's bringing to the table.
I need to, let's make a distinction between if he has political value or he has electoral value. Do you understand? So there's a difference between he not having political value and not having electoral. He may not have electoral value, but he has political value.
You're quite right. You're quite right. There's a difference. There's a clear difference.
There's a difference. Yes, exactly. So don't let's mix it up. He may not have electoral value, but he has political value. Now, as I said earlier, this man is very, very smart. He's a smart aleck. But what did he do? He knew exactly that for now, what is trending is the issue of insecurity. What is trending is the issue of people, raising this issue of disintegration dismemberment of this country. What is trending is the issue of Igboho, who is championing the cause of the Yoruba nation. The other one is on the Igbo country. You have Naji Kanu, who's being incarcerated. So, FFK has managed to befriend these two persons.
Yeah.
And these two persons, they have their own followers in millions. Because of that, FFK has also managed to warm himself into their heart. So if, for instance, the president is seeing an FFK who has been able to cash in on the followership of Igboho and of Nnamdi Kanu, there's no way the president will not open his doors to him. So that's exactly why I say he's very smart. So he cashed in on the issue of insecurity. He cashed in on the issue of this issue of people who are this secessionists. So he is saying, well, you may have seen me with Igboho, you may have seen me with Nnamdi Kanu, but I think we need to build this country together.
So, quick means it will be interesting to see what exactly Femi Fani-Kayode would be saying to these various groups now in the coming days, weeks, and months. I mean, because we all know what his position had been with this group before. So it'll be interesting to see, how he begins to respond to them, so to speak.
But he has already told you, part of what he's been in the media. As I said, he manages to be in the media and be relevant. Is this, as we speak now, he's dominating the media space.
Oh, absolutely. That's why we're talking about him anyway. We're talking about him.
So what he has said is that he is placing Nigeria before every other gains. So he is telling the president that, look, he wants to be a pan-Nigerianist. He wants to tell the president that, look, we know you are facing so many fronts, so many challenges. So I want to join you to build this thing. And you know that he has been at the opposition. So when you have him coming from the other side to begin to say, the president, let me join hands with you, there's no way the president will not open his doors. So he's told you that he has a way called, he said, Susobe is his friend and brother. He said Igboho is still his brother and his friend. He said Nnamdi Kanu is still his brother and his friend. But that what they are agitating for, we need to be careful so that we don't tear this country into fragments. So that's exactly what he's selling, and he's selling, and people are buying into it. The president also have bought into it. So that's why I'm surprised that Ojo is surprised that the president had to fling his doors open onto him. So he came with a message, and that message is selling, and he is cashing it on it big time.
Jide, let me ask you this. Look, beyond this issue of political or electoral value, how bad is this for the PDP that someone of Fani Kayade's status in that party would defect to the APC?
I don't think, from what I garnered, the PDP people knew it's a mole within their fold. And let me also say to my brother Charles that whatever he is selling to the presidency, without equity, justice, and fairness, he will not sell his market. Even if he wants to convince Sunday Igboho today or Nnamdi Kanu today, if the current repression, the current insecurity does not abate, no matter the message of hope he is selling to the presidency, it cannot be said. I mean, I want you to, Charles and my brother, the moderator, if you were to be a Fanika Ode's son, or your sister is his wife, would you? I want
us to leave. Let's just leave out his family from this and just concentrate on him.
No. The point is, I am very sure that if a man deceives me once, they say shame on him. If twice, shame on me. The point is, FFK has maintained relevance because of his oratorial power. And situations like we have on our hands, anybody can say anything and get away with it. But the question you asked about whether the PDP will miss its exit, I don't think so.
Do you think? Do you think for the optics, is this good for the PDP? Even for nothing, but for the optics, is it good for the PDP?
That's what I'm coming to. It's not good for PDP. It can never be good for PDP because, like you said in your background, election is a game of numbers. So when you lose, your chances of victory is actually being reduced. But it serves PDP right because I have said at other platforms that the leadership tussle in PDP has opened the floodgates and for people to leave. Remember the constitutional provision of Section 68, subsection 1G, which talks about the ground on which you are allowed to defect. So if you belong to a party that is in disarray, that cannot hold its own, that is lacking in cohesion, a party that wants to push out its national chairman by fire, by force, using all manner of strategy, orchestrating one problem or the other for itself, definitely people will leave. But let's come back to the issue of FFK. Part of what you see is even the lies he told to the presidency, that he was instrumental in convincing
Some of the governors have come out to deny that.
Governor Dave Umahi has come out to deny it and even demand apology. So this is the character that we are discussing, that will just do everything humanly possible to curry favor from people in government.
Well, but the irony of it all is that everyone, the truth is, everyone knows who Fanika Ade is. Everyone knows. All the politicians know. But there must be something in him that they see that continues to attract him to them. And that's just where the problem is. Isn't it, Charles?
There's no problem at all. You see, my problem, sorry, Charles. Let me just quickly respond. My problem is the respect and reception accorded to him. I think it's just one person that the president could have welcomed when he goes on state visits. Like when he went to Imo, they could just have used that opportunity to say, okay, we have some defectors from PDP coming to join us. And then they take it, he can take picture with the president. But for president to leave state matters, for two governors to leave state matters, to accompany him, this is the same president he has called on printable names. He's circulating in social media. He has called the president.
But then, can't we say, Charles, that, look, for doing that, for the president to receive him in the company of two other governors, that somehow they were trying to send they were trying to send a message Don't you think so?
Well, it's quite obvious that, I don't know, Ojo, the way he talks may not be in the media. So we are in the media, we know how we use the media to our benefit. The president and APC, they are also use the defection of Femi as they also use it to benefit themselves in the media. You know that Femi has always been in the media for the wrong reason against the APC. And I'm sure that APC now having Femi joining them, it's like they're having somebody who is the leading voice in the opposition camp. On his own, he's coming to join them without even be coerced to come join them. So you expect the president not to celebrate that. You expect the APC not to celebrate that. So it's like our enemies, it's like one of the leaders of our enemies coming to our house. He's telling them that we are the best. So exactly what the APC is feasting on it because they want to tell everybody that for a Fani Kayode that has been an antagonist of this government, an antagonist of government policies, for him to cross over, it means that APC is now saying that they are indeed doing well, that every Nigerian must see that whoever is against this policy, go and ask Fani Kayode, who vilified this government, who vilified this president, that indeed we have what to offer. If you argue, ask Fani Kayode. So in the media, they are using him to their own benefit. So that's the difference. So it's Fani Kayode for now may not have electoral value, but he has media value for the president. He has media value for the APC. He has media value for everyone who is around the president. That for them to right now to show off the image of the party as we speak.
All right, gentlemen, I'm afraid we just have to leave the discussion there. We can't continue to discuss Fani Kayode all through this program, unfortunately. Thank you very much for your time. Jide Ojo, who joined us from Abuja, thank you very much for your time. And Charles Ideho, thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming on the program and sharing your thoughts with us on this very interesting topic. Well, that's how much we can take on the program this week. We thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.